the last thing we did. And I really enjoyed it, seemed to be quite popular, so we're continuing on that note. And today I was thinking of making something with an eye. And also watery, kind of similar themes there, but you made them 10 years ago. Oh, that's old school. Well, if you want to get back into it and you have any questions or whatever, I'm happy to help. Okay, Shu, have a good dentist appointment. I was gonna say, but that's not it. I hope it's bearable at least. Goodbye. And yeah, definitely. Let me know if there's anything I can help you with. So I just pulled up a few pictures I liked of swirls and vortices. I don't know if you pronounce it like that. But I wanted to use. I really like this one, especially for the waves here. I'd probably use this one as around the eye, not the eye itself, and then like just a big nice whirlpool vortex that can be good for the center of the eye. I think that's the basic pieces we're going to be using. So as a base, I always like to have something as a base, even though this is not gonna show up. This is not gonna come through in the final image, most likely. Maybe some textures from the iris or something, which are just hard to replicate in real life. But most likely, it's not gonna show up. But I'd like to have one as a base, so to speak. So thinking, I was between these two. I think this one is a bit nicer because she doesn't have a droopy eyelid here, and I like textures in the iris a bit more. They're a bit more clear, a bit easier to see. I would probably get rid of that reflection just because it's a reference picture, and obviously if you want an eye picture, it's nice to have that reflection. But in this case, I'd probably go without it, just to have a clear iris, and then if I need to add a reflection, just add it myself in the end. So let's go with this one, because I don't like droopy eyelids. Oh, let me see that. Oh, that's cool. I like the effects. And is that a monkey up there? This is from 10 years ago, you say? Biggest monkey. Okay, so I'm thinking we're gonna take a slice like this, and we're gonna copy it on the other side. Just gonna flip it. I'm gonna place it here, more or less. Oh, last fall. Okay. So that's right now where you're trying to get back into it, right? But thanks for the follow, Strikeboy99. Okay, so this is pretty good just to get rid of that reflection. It does make the eye seem incredibly weird, doesn't it? I mean, it's just gonna be a reference, so I don't really mind. But it is strange seeing just a flat eye like this. It's very unnatural. So how was Shu's stream? Did you learn a lot? I dropped by like for a minute, just lurking a little. Okay, so hey, I'm not Shu. Yeah, he just raided me. Welcome there. I'll hope I'm at least a good second choice. Okay, we are gonna... I think I'm just gonna select around here. I don't mind really having a pretty selection. I just want something usable. Okay, so that's gonna be our base. And different lighting, yeah. And sometimes I like to do accents, you know? This is my attempt, really shoddy attempt at a European accent. Okay, here's our eye. I'm feeling like we're gonna put that in the middle, because it'd be a bit weird to do something with an eye and not center it, like put it in a corner or something. Real doctor. Not yet, not yet. Please don't take my stuff as medical advice, as real medical advice, just banter. I'd hate to get one of you into the ER because I said something stupid. Oh. An album cover. That's cool. I've just done one album cover. It's something I'd like to do more. And you gotta get people interested in. That's the first thing. Okay, I think this is gonna be a nice pupil. Let's get this maybe normal with a soft opacity. So one thing here, if you don't know how I usually operate, for a lot of things I come in with a really clear idea from the beginning. For this, I have no idea. I just took some pictures that I thought were nice. I took some, like, I thought about it for a while. I just had the idea and took some pictures. So I don't really know how I'm gonna execute it. But I don't know. I do that a lot and usually it ends up turning out nice. Oh, let me see that sketch. Oh, that's cool. A ver, ratio. I mean, medical effect? Yes, because there is no medical effect, so... So yeah, you'll probably get the same effect, medically speaking. Okay, I'm gonna try to... This white circle in the middle, I'm gonna try to make it be the pupil. But I'm not gonna be putting white here in the back. I want it to be black. Also, it's a bit more... I mean, it would be weird to just have the bottom of the sea be like super lit foamy water. That wouldn't make a lot of sense. Okay, how are we gonna make the God, I forget English words. This part's eyelids. God damn it, eyelids. How are we gonna make the eyelids? I'm thinking this sort of wavy texture could be nice. I mean, if it makes you feel better, I don't know, maybe we should do a clinical trial, see if it actually works. Maybe you just found the new cure for everything. Yeah, that's that's quite the summer album. Okay, I think we leave the eyelids for later though. Let's work on the pupil first. Or on the eye itself and then the pupil. The cornea, that's the word I was looking for. If I drop a very no, that's not that. Yeah. If I drop a very medical term for something, or very like anatomical term, and you guys are like, what the fuck is it talking about? Let me know and try to find the right word for it. Because I feel like in English, for a lot of things, but especially for like medical stuff, all the words that sound like Spanish because they come from Latin are like super technical words. But of course, those are the ones that come most naturally to me because it's very close to Spanish. So it's very likely that I'll end up saying something completely impossible to understand for you guys. Finnish versions of Latin? Like, why are there so many Finnish people in the photography Twitch community? Like, you guys are like 5 million. There's tons of you. Is Finland just full of photographers? It is very, very funny to me. Oh goddammit, I got this filter. Hang on. There. It's so dark. Oh, that makes sense. That explains a lot. I don't know if I'll make it like super pitch black like this, but it works for now. Okay, what color are we making the eye? I guess blue, right? Blue is the most obvious thing. But green could be nice too. I don't know. We're also gonna take just the pupil like this, merge this, and so this, maybe we can apply the texture of the iris onto the water. I don't know which mode though. That's why I'm trying a bit of everything. Hey Isa, or Isa. Blue to green. Yeah, it's either blue or green or something in between. Would be weird to have a brown eye in the middle of the sea, right? I mean, it would be some nice contrast, I guess, but oh, this is too hard. Oh, this isn't bad. I like it like this and lighten. Or even on screen. Might be too bright though. Yeah, it's pretty nice because it keeps the highlights in here on the inside. Doesn't disturb those, but it does add a little texture there. Invert the eye color? I'm gonna try that. That is very, very blue. I think we're gonna try with color layers. I'm gonna take some nice color from out here. We're gonna see how it looks like if I just use basically the same color as the sea. Oh, that's actually pretty good. I mean, the thing that I always have to balance with this kind of thing is style versus readability. So maybe it looks better if I just use the color like this, and I just make it similar to the water outside. And if it's still readable like this, that's great then. But if I keep working on this, and it's not really that obvious that it's an eye, so if I'm looking for the first impression of the viewer, if it's not very obvious that it's gonna be an eye, then I gotta make it clearer, and in that case I'll use maybe a stronger color or a different color. Yeah, that's the thing, that's trying to balance that obviousness and the style itself. Then I can also, I'm just using a bit of an eraser in the middle, could like fade some green in the middle and some blue on the outside, like that. That could be a nice middle ground. Let's leave it at that for now. Shortcuts aren't working. How annoying. Can I? Yes. Okay. True. We can explain it rationally, and that's usually good. That means it doesn't look too out of place. And I think if we left it at that, for example, not gonna do it, but if we just left it at this, I think it would be pretty easy to see the eye there. Like, I don't think we will have a huge problem with it not being obvious enough, not being like visible at first glance. That's my hope, at least. Okay, so now I guess we're moving on to the sclera. I think that's how you say it in English. Just gonna do a rough selection. Just want to see more or less the area I gotta cover. Okay. I think we could make it a few different ways. Just gonna paint it so we can see what we're working with. It's the dolphins. Just for that vaporwave aesthetic, just a few dolphins. Yeah, drawing tablets are, for me at least, they're an absolute necessity. I don't think I could ever go back to a mouse, honestly. Okay, so this is more or less the area we gotta cover. And what texture should we use for it? That's the question. I'm thinking foam like this is maybe the most logical answer. We've got a lot of foam around it too, which is what kind of bothers me. Okay, let's try to... There. Just copy the same layer and put it on a layer mask of the sclera. I'm just gonna try to choose this a nice starting point. And then around it, that's the problem though, if there's a lot of foam in the sclera and around it is foam too, you can't see it anymore. So around it, I'm thinking, there. Thinking maybe making this smaller. There, like, just separate a bit the sclera from the textures outside of it. Yeah, we're progressing quite quickly, I believe. But worry not, we got other things to do if this goes on very quickly. Non-foam C on the left. Sarah the bridge of the nose. That is absolutely true. That works well. I didn't mean to do it like that way, but yeah, we could definitely just draw a little face here with a nose. I don't know, an eyebrow. That was completely coincidental. If you think I did this on purpose, no, I didn't. That was just luck. Okay, let's keep moving this around. See if I can get something a bit more clear. Also make it a bit smaller, so we get a bit more texture in there. Alright, I think that makes for pretty good sclera. And we got it as a layer mask, so we can kind of paint around with it. Take a little soft brush here. We don't need it to be like super exact. We just need it to remind us of an eye. It doesn't need to be anatomically like the most precise thing. Even though I'm a med student and I do like my anatomically correct stuff. Okay, and on top of this, with the same layer mask, I'm thinking we can get a bit more of that white in here. You can smooth over some of the harshest parts of the texture. Autopsy books. Oh, really? Oh, that takes some guts. I gotta tell you that autopsies are not really fun to look at. As first and second year students, when we were doing all the anatomy, we had a lot of autopsies, and I mean, just rummaging through dead bodies, and that was hard to get used to be honest. With the kidneys and such. Well, what did you do with the kidneys? Because I was thinking, in this same series, in this same collection, I guess I've done this one, which is the last one I did. I've done this one, the brain. Then there's the heart one, and the skull one. So I've done a few like, I don't know, this collection or this series doesn't really have a name. I guess it's the body parts in different textures collection. And the eye was just, I think, the most obvious one I could have done next. And after that, I don't really know what I should be doing. Because you could take other organs, but what are you going to do with a kidney, you know? Or with the liver. Thank you. Yeah, the fish one. I mean, I think the VOD is still out there on my channel. Oh no, I don't. Maybe I did that out of stream. Yeah, no, I don't think the VOD is on my channel. Yeah, that was just basically this. Taking a bunch of pictures of schools of fish and using them as textures, basically. Then the hard part, which was connecting all the, I'm gonna show you. Connecting all the different pictures of a fish, like trying to get all the edges to match with the fishes. That was quite a hard one. Like, okay, we can rummage through all those layers. Okay, this is the skull. And as you can see, it's all made of tons of little pictures that each make a part. Like, I was basically drawing with them. And then the hard part is like just having the ends here more or less match the fishes, because I'm not going to match every fish individually, I'll go crazy. But I wanted to at least match the texture. So, for instance, this part here was from this picture. Obviously there's some more stuff on top of it, but this was the original. And then a lot of painting on top. So if you take away all the shadows and stuff, it's just kind of plain textures like this. And you can see, now you can see better how I made it. Like, you can see the two eye sockets are actually the same picture, just a bit moved. And you can see it a bit better. But then when you add the shadows, it really takes a third dimension, I guess. What's that you sent me? Oh, that's your friend's drawings. Oh, that looks really nice. I'm gonna drop in a follow. It's hard to make. I really like this one. It's really cool. It's hard to make something interesting out of organs like that. So, props to her. So yeah, that's how I made this one. Just a lot of painting on top, like some manual painting, and then I just used the skull I had as a base. Just put it on overlay. This was the base image I used. Well, I guess I did some blur, and I really pumped up the contrast on it, because I just wanted the lights and shadows from it. And then added that on overlay in a low opacity. You know, doing this and painting. Yeah, it's fairly similar to what we're doing right now. Okay, so now pull up the eye on top again. What's left? Oh, obviously this part of the eye, which is not really sclera. I guess I shouldn't really include it. So I'm gonna remove that. Maybe we can make that out of a different texture, or just leave it out, because not like people will notice. Okay, and now for the back here, I really want to keep this picture as is, as a base, because like we said, it does make a pretty cool bridge of the nose and eyebrow here. But what I don't like is this being so foamy, this part here mostly, which really messes with the eye itself. So, how are we gonna do this? Okay, I'm gonna copy it. Just gonna take a part I like more. We do want a lower eyelid, which honestly it's like pretty thin, the lower eyelid, so we don't really need a lot of foam here. I'm just gonna take this. I'm gonna paint a bit with it. And blend the edges. That's important every time you do a lasso like I just did. And right below it, turning this there. Give us enough textures. We're just gonna paint with this layer. Blend them together. There's some dark tones here that I don't really enjoy, so I think we're gonna move the base. There we go. That's a bit better. So this can be a lower eyelid, although I'm thinking it doesn't really have a very clear shape. So maybe it could do with some puppet warping. Okay, let's try to puppet warp it. Do something a bit more shaped like an eyelid. I love puppet warping. If you had to choose your best or your favorite tool in Photoshop, what would you guys choose? Because for me, it would probably be puppet warp. paste. I mean, yeah, you're right. Face is probably more important in the grand scheme of things. There, that can be... I guess that can be a lower eyelid, although I'll probably add some shadow or something to just separate it a bit from the eye itself. Like, for example... I don't know, I think I'll do just a soft shadow. It's something that... yeah, something like this. Nothing too obvious, but... okay, and now for the upper eyelid. Which, by the way, I'm looking at my lower eyelid a little. And I'm thinking it should cover more space up to here, probably. Let's take this layer. Let's make it a bit larger. There, that's better. Okay, and now for the upper eyelid. Maybe I'll choose the area first, roughly, so we can have an idea of what we have to fill up. There. So we have to fill up this space. That's quite a lot to fill up, really. I think we can do it. I think we can take this, actually, which was going to be the eyebrow. I think it's going to be a better upper eyelid. Okay, so same drill as before. I'm gonna take this, I'm just gonna let this shine through lightly like this, so I know which part I gotta fill up. And then we're gonna do, as we have done, puppet warp. I want this top edge here. There. Yeah, that's pretty good. So, we're gonna just take a brush and fill that area up. And actually also the area on top, because gotta cover at least a little of that. There, that's bringing a lot to the eye. That's kind of making a difference. I'll leave this little, there we go. And then, same thing we did before. Just gonna get a nice... Oh, gotta remove the puppet warp though. Okay. So, just trying to get a nice texture to cover this little bit here. So nothing too drastic. This seems a bit too bright. This might be a bit too dark, but yeah, screw it. I can flip it too. Okay, that's better. Now we got some overlapping textures. Hang on, just gonna make this one a bit bigger. Because we're not gonna use that much of it anyway, so it's fine. That's something to take care of while you sort of paint with textures in this way. Is that you need to you gotta be careful to not really zoom in on a texture, to take a little bit and then just making that really large, because that'll look very pixelated. I'll throw off everything. Okay, I think we got all the main parts. And I think even with the color being quite similar to, like the color of the iris being quite similar to the sea, it still stays readable. It doesn't lose that first impression, which I think is one of the most important things. Taking a look, overlaying it back and forth. So now I think we're gonna work on the transitions between every one of those textures. I already added a little shadow here, which is part of that. But that is one of the parts where it gets hard, because what I'm doing right now is kind of two-dimensional. There's a whirlpool in the middle, it's like swallowing up water. That part is three-dimensional, but the rest of the water is pretty much a flat surface. The eye, though, is quite like it pops out a little. It's a sphere. I mean, it's the tip of a sphere. And it has a little some curve to it, and curve between the different parts too, because it does like this, then like this, then like this, you know. Same with the eyelids, kind of does. Has a lot of 3D to it, which is not really easily conveyed in a 2D plane. So that's what we gotta work on. The medical name for the lower eyelid? I mean lower eyelid. They don't have specific names. Párpado inferior, if you ask me in Spanish. Okay, so conveying that 3D onto this 2D plane, I'm thinking there should at least be some overlap of at least the upper eyelid onto the eye. So right now it just kind of blends together weirdly. But ideally, I'd like to have something that looks a bit like a wave that's sort of going over this part, kind of making some shadow below it. Okay, let's see if we can get that. Let's see if we can get something like that. So on our base picture, we got some pretty flat waves, but none of them big enough to make a 3D effect, you know? But maybe we can fake it. Maybe we can take this, I'm thinking. This part here. This part here. Just put some harsh shadow below it. Let's try that out. Let's get this part. We're obviously gonna have to puppet warp it. But what's the point of this streams if we don't puppet warp everything? Okay, I'm just trying to get a bit of a hard edge in between this wave we're making and what's below it. Hopefully that'll be enough. Okay. We're gonna make this a bit larger. God damn it. There you go. We're gonna rasterize that, apply the layer mask, and then puppet warp. Maybe I use the other side too. I mainly want this edge. The rest, I don't know. I don't mind if it's a bit warped or something. Just want the edge to look nice. Taller. Okay, medical quiz for chat.
Sorry about that.
Can you name? Okay, I'm gonna. Let's point to some parts of the eye and let's see how many can you guys name. So, gonna go for hard things. I'm not gonna ask about the iris. Okay, what is a thing that is both up here and down here on the eyelid? First one to name it correctly. I mean, I can't give points anymore. That's boring. I'll give you big props, at least. Okay, so I'm blending this edge here. That's pretty good. Gonna keep some of it, some of this part of it. There. Very nice. So no one can name the little holes that are here and here. Come on. I thought you guys would better. I think that's pretty alright as a way of faking that 3D. I guess I'll keep that shadow up until here, although we don't have any more of that texture here, so I'm gonna have to fake it a little. Same here. Gonna make this a bit darker too. There we go. Alright, pretty good so far. Pretty good. Gonna do the same thing for the other eyelid. Maybe not as harsh. Maybe not as harsh as this one. It's this little wave, but at least there's some separation. How's this looking so far? Like, first impression, because I've been seeing it for a while, so I'm not really sure anymore. But first impression for you guys, is it an eye, or do you have to strain it a little to see the eye? What the hell was that? That didn't flip at all. What? Okay, let's let it flip it. Just turn it. Screw you. Okay, Photoshop. You alright? Can we continue? Yeah? Okay. Alright, so I think we're gonna use... I started to use some of the same waves here. We're gonna reduce that curvature. It's not as harsh on the other eyelid. I tried to modify it a little too, so there's not that many little waves that come from coming to the eye. It must be uncomfortable too. Imagine getting a whole wave inside of your eye. The salt. Okay, pretty good. With that layer mask, let's redo it. Let's actually do it the other way around. We're just gonna paint it. There we go. Pretty good. And then we're gonna do a little bit of shadow too. That's gonna be below it. Okay, how's this so far? I think we got most parts of the eye. We're missing, I guess, the eyelashes. But I don't really know how we could even do that. Should we just make some hair popping out of the water? That would be gross. I'd maybe like to add some different textures on the edge of the, how do you say, the iris. Because right now we're getting a lot of that blurry movement, like movement blur texture here. Hey, welcome back, Jasperry. How's it looking so far? Okay, let's try to add some more textures to the edge of the iris. I'm thinking... yeah, we got some pretty good ones on our base picture, and we're using the same picture a lot, but in different contexts. I think this might be worth it. And I really like this part here, because it does kind of look like an iris. So they might be good for, at least for the edge. So maybe just adding them. Adding them in some way, at least. Okay, hang on. Let me get rid of this guy, because he's bothering me. Did you bring the swirls highlights up a bit? What swirls do you mean? There's a lot of swirls here. Oh, this one's here? Yeah, I brought some of the... I increased the blue a little bit on them, on the edges especially. So that makes it pop a bit more too. Okay, so like this, we can add some... some of that nice texture that really reminds me of the iris. Like if you look at the iris really closely, you get something that's really not unlike this. Like, hang on, let me see if I can find a really good, a really close up, yeah, like this. So, oh god damn it, just wanted the picture. Like this texture here. Doesn't that remind you guys of this? I think it's quite close, isn't it? To see this animated? Oh my god. I wish I knew how to do that. That would be cool though, I agree. Okay, so let's see how it looks if I try to add that. He also brings some more of the spirally look. I want it to look like, oh, how do you call that? A tide? No, whirlpool. I think that's the word. I want to bring that look a little bit. So I'm thinking maybe hard light, but put that below all the color layers. This one is a texture, and maybe just make it black and white. Let's see, let's just go over different layer modes. See what adds more. Because honestly, I just want that... Oh, pin light could even work. I never use pin light. I think it might be quite good for this one. So I just want to add this as a texture. My main goal here. I think it needs to be a bit... I need to squish it a little. Make it more round. There. Because I mean, we can't assume the guy on the boat that made this swirls was making perfect circles. I think it was a little off center. That looks better. Also, oh, okay, yeah. If I really increase the contrast here, maybe I can get that effect where I just get the little white texture here. Yeah, that's pretty good. And we can try to add that on different styles. Hard light looks good. Pin light again. No, pin light doesn't look good anymore. Shame, it could have been the first time I used pin light ever. I don't know what it even does, but Lighten looks good. I mean, normal looks good, honestly. Lighter color also looks pretty good. But I do want to cover, yeah, I do want to cover this part up too, because I don't really love it. This looks like it's too close to the camera, way closer than the rest. So maybe just in normal, that way it gets covered and we don't have to think about it. Lighten is your most used blending mode? Really? Lighten? I don't use it that much, I think. I tend to use screen more, I think. But I don't know, everyone in Photoshop has their own quirks or their own little pet peeves that they always have to do. Okay, I think the iris is looking pretty good. We're gonna soften that edge though, because it's very harsh right now. Like, you can see this really harsh line here. It's not very natural looking. So let's get just a soft edge. Try to follow the waves a little. It's brown enough on its own. It doesn't really need me to use a super harsh line to limit that. Almost Ctrl-Z your whole work. Oh my god. Oh, really? That's such an asshole way of teaching. Like, if your student finds a way of doing the same thing in a different way, and that works for them, unless that's the way they did it, is like maybe in the long run, or if you only use that technique, it's worse, and you're trying to teach other techniques. But anyway, just deleting some work because of that is quite the asshole move. Hey Hell Dog, how are you doing? I did not know there's multiple ways of doing stuff in Photoshop. Did that guy ever use Photoshop for like more than 10 minutes? Like, that's honestly one of the best things about Photoshop, just being able to do things however you want. So there's a color layer, but it's not doing much. This is my main color layer. If I didn't have it, it would look like this. It was like 400 years old. Maybe he learned Photoshop when there was only like 3 tools. I don't know. Dinner in your brother's house. That's cool. Well, I've had quite a busy day. You know, I think I talked about it last stream. My dog is pretty sick, and yeah, the poor guy has a horrible anemia because he got one of those infections you get from ticks, and yeah, poor guy is really kind of struggling, but hopefully he'll pull through. And yeah, I've been carrying him to the vet all the god damn it. Yeah. Got an Alt Tab so the tools work again. There. Yeah, I've been carrying back and forth to the vet and stuff. Does it look good on yellow? I mean, yeah, I think it does too. I'd like to keep the more natural look of it. I mean, it's not like supernatural either way, because it's an eye, but on the sea even. Still. The teacher was working on Gutenberg print. I mean, he did get better at first. When he started on the treatment and they gave him IV fluids, so I'd really pulled him back, but over the weekend he got worse. And well, tomorrow, if it's still not getting better, I think he's gonna go on IV again. I mean, I really use the pupil size of the base picture, but I was thinking that we could use any pupil size, actually. We can make it tiny or huge. But that looks like it's kind of drugged out. Just took some... That Coke was good. He's on acid. Oh, you know, it's the sea is actually getting acid due to climate change. So, we could make that work. I'm gonna make it just a little bit bigger, I think. Wait, you have waves in your eyes? Send pigs. Pixar didn't happen. Do you want the ocean to get high? You imagine going out to the sea, just having a nice relaxing swim and getting high on acid? I mean, that would be cheap acid. That's at least we got that going, but I'm thinking at this part here. So on this texture on the edge, do a little blend if to get rid of the darker areas. Oh, that's pretty good. And I'm even thinking that below it we could have some of the same foam that we have on the sclera here. Oh, where's the sclera? There. Okay. So we could copy this into here, and trying to look for a way to blend it a bit more with the sclera, so it's not such a hard edge between them. But maybe that's a bit too much. I don't know. Yeah, that blend if doesn't work exactly. This was world's young. Exactly. All the bad drugs flow down to the bottom. That's how you get anglerfish. Also, maybe we could get some texture, like something on the pupil, because it seems a bit too pitch black, I think. Okay, maybe we can hang on with me for a sec. Okay, you see this? So just apply this as that's a good one. We should also be adding some reflections, just low opacity. Thank you. Lightheaded. Oh my god. I mean, I'm not one to complain about puns today, because the title of this stream is literally a bad pun, so... But yours is better, Jesper. I like it better. Yeah, I like that actually. It's just a very small touch, but it does make it look like there's some depth, like there's some water below there. Yeah, I think I'll keep it. Okay, reflections. So to make it look more eye-like, I guess, you could be adding something like this. But obviously not as a window, because that wouldn't make a lot of sense. But we could add a reflection. I guess we would have the sun as the only thing reflecting here. And as to where to put it, an astronaut coming out of the water or going in. I was actually, so another option I had with this one, instead of doing a whirlpool, was doing a galaxy, doing an eye as a galaxy. I mean, it's still an idea for the future, who knows, but I ended up deciding this one because I found this really nice picture, which is the one we're seeing at the bottom. Okay, so where would the reflection be? Because we don't have any good references of how the lighting is. We do have a boat that I covered, so let's take a look. Not giving me a lot, most likely from here, but it seems like a pretty non-specific lighting. So we got free reign to do whatever, I think. Okay. Reflections. Maybe I could do like this eye here, something here. And I guess it would be round or rounded, because the only thing that would realistically be reflecting here is the sun, so. Just gonna draw it on, and just let's try some layer modes. I think we can do some combined overlay plus a smaller circle inside that is just pure white. There. How's that? It does give it a bit more... more of a 3D look, which is not entirely realistic, because it's not supposed to be 3D, it's just water, but I think it doesn't look bad, right? Maybe I'll tone it down just a little. And in that same vein, I think we can add some... we can paint some more light and shadow. For now I'm still focusing on the iris, but... so if the light is coming from here, reflecting here, would get some shadows falling in here and here. Because that's going towards the inside. I like to paint them on really strong like this, and then tone them down. That way I can control how much shadow I'm putting on. It does look donut shaped, but that's... I mean, if we look at the real eye, you have the... so you have a flat... the iris is just a flat thing that is in there. It's like a flat donut. And then the cornea on top is like a... it's just like a half circle, like this. So... even though it does look like it's going onto the inside, like if we're basing this highlights, like there's a cornea, the highlight would just be here, right? I mean, we could get it more like here, but it looks like there's more of a dome-shaped. Yeah, dome-shaped. That explains it better. I mean, we could always do something like this with the reflection, you know? And that, I guess, makes it look more like there's that dome shape, because it goes over the part that's supposed to go to the to go inwards. So it looks more like there's a dome, and then inside the... but I want it to be... I guess I want it to be sort of ambiguous. Like if you look at it for a while, I want it to not really be clear if it's just a flat image that sort of looks like an eye, or if it's a complete 3D eye with its dome shape and everything. So if it is like this, it could be both things, I think. You could see it both ways, I think. A bit more, at least. I mean, if I really could make it so it's seen more like a donut, if I put like highlights on here and really increase the shadow here. then we can really say, oh yeah, that's supposed to be donut shaped. But maybe it's better to leave it ambiguous. I'm also gonna reduce some of the shadow up here. We got a bit of shadow down here. Let's flip it, see if there's any errors. Pretty good, I think. We could also put some small reflection on the sclera here, because that the real eye is also supposed to be pretty reflective, a bit more matte, but fairly reflective. So we can put a little layer on screen here, and we just paint a bit of highlight on this area, maybe just on the brightest parts. Not much, but it can be a little. So maybe a little bit of shadow here. And this is really about like how subtle you want to be. Like here I'm adding shadows, but they're not really shadows. Like you just see this and you're not like, there's a shadow here. Just like small things that all together add up to more to it looking a bit more 3D. Like if we really want to go and add some more 3D-ness to it, I guess we can also add some shadow here below the eyelid. Put here, and again, it's not something that's noticeable at first glance, but and we're gonna, on the same highlights layer, also add some highlight around here. Thank you. I'm kind of working on this more subtle side, more like adding little shadows and stuff that give you some depth, or the illusion of it at least. Gonna reduce this highlight a tiny bit. This was, oh yeah, that was a inverted. That's a bit too deep blue, I think. We could also mess with some other colors for the eye, just for fun. Keep thinking of doing something to the blue part of the eye. Yeah, like exactly what I was saying, right? Trying some colors out. So we could try maybe something in here, in between the blue and the green. Oh, should be on color. Maybe instead of on the side, do that, but on the middle. Oh, hang on. Color. that is actually quite good. Right? Not crazy, right? Do some color plus overlay. Yeah, no, that's off. That's on. That's just adding like a deep green to the middle. Could add it to the whole thing like this. I think it's better if we mix different colors, if we don't have it be one solid color. Add that blue but lower opacity. You mean on the edge too? Yeah, that's like 20%. And just having this screen in our color palette, we could just go on top of everything and add some of that color to parts of the image, like with a really soft and big brush. We'll just add some of that green, I don't know, to this side. That way there's no, like, if there's the same analogous green on the outside of the eye, it doesn't look as weird or as striking to see it also on the inside here. Like if we could take the deep parts here, which is what I was doing, and paint them with some of that green, I think that can be pretty good. With overlay maybe. Or color, yeah. Okay, back to the pupil. All these small highlights, like on the way down, that are pretty nice. I don't want to get rid of them entirely, but maybe I can cover some, like the part that's not supposed to be like, lit up. Maybe I can cover some this way. Nothing too strong. Let me reduce that opacity. Guys, it's been like 1 hour 40 minutes and look at where we are right now. I'd say that's pretty good time. We don't usually make that kind of time. Well, it depends, but oh wait. Yeah. Okay, so I was thinking of, if I add here some screen to the edge of the eye, maybe I'll just take a little something to blend together the cornea and the sclera a little. Like I just want that edge I want to soften it a little. Not gonna add it 100%, but because it really seems a bit too harsh to me. This transition, this and this here. It's like very dark, very black here, and suddenly it goes to super bright. Quality time ratio. I mean, I think that's just practice mostly. And at first, when I started streaming, that was like a year and a month ago, more or less. Like, and if you go to the very, very early VODs, it took me 2 or even 3 streams to do one edit, and they were about as complicated as this. So I don't know how much better I got in quality, because that's a bit hard to assess, but in time I did get a lot better over the past year. It gets stuck in the little details, but that happens to me too, especially out of stream. I think I really like streaming because it lets me focus on only this for a few hours, and I really focus all my effort on making an image. If I'm not streaming, I'll just go back and forth, and I'll have this on a background, like on my computer in the background, and I don't know, I'll be watching something, a YouTube video or whatever, and suddenly I'll go back and change a little thing, and I go back and change a little thing again, and it really takes much longer to finish stuff that way. It's not an efficient way to work. God, this layer is very big. Actually, this document is gonna get real big, because I'm having a ton of this same background layer, like copied over and over in different little textures and pieces, and that adds up, I think. Hey, cream cheese, how are you doing? You're making, well, I think it's fairly obvious at this point. Also, the title of the stream gives it out. Okay, I'm thinking we change a lot of the color of the eye, and in doing so, of the iris, I mean, and in doing so, we also change the color of the foam. So if we take this here, like you can see the foam outside the iris is pretty much white, and here it's blue. So all these color layers that are messing that up, I might put a little blend if on them, making it so they don't apply to the brightest colors. Okay, let's try that out. There's a color one here too. There we go. And on here, okay, so even without all the color layers I put on top, it still doesn't look like this. It's the same foam. This one looks too gray, not blue enough, I think. So we're gonna apply all that back on top, and maybe we can try and get some of the blue from more bluish there from the foam, and do color, and we'll try to apply that only on top. Hang on, we need something more opaque. Are we going darker? How do you mean darker? Okay, and then we can only apply that selectively on the bright colors. There we go, more or less. That way, we can have that foam regain some of its original color. So it doesn't look too blue. And we can tone this down later. Let's take a look. It's not much, but I think it does help blending these two parts here. Take some of the most unnatural color away. So we can have this, I think at, yeah, 66%. That's pretty alright. Okay, a bit more painted shadows, painted highlights and lights and darks. You can do overlay, which hopefully will work. We work well with this. I'm gonna paint some. Whoa, that's very big. Not this big. And a low opacity. And this is on top of all the layers, so you can paint anywhere. It's also pretty useful if you're trying to paint lights and shadows without being too destructive, to go with overlay, because overlay will darken the already dark parts of the image, and will same for the light. We'll lighten only the light parts of the image, so that usually helps. Maybe if you're trying to paint more specific, like a very specific light that doesn't exist in the base image, like say you have a character and the light you've chosen on the scene is behind them, so the character is going to have a rim light around him, and if you're trying to paint that and the character has a dark outline, like doesn't have a light out already, you really can't do that on overlay. You have to do it on, just normal mode. Should work best. But in this case, we already have a pretty complex texture that's full of brights and darks already. So if I'm just trying to paint a subtle lighting like this, I'm gonna go with overlay. I'm trying to stay subtle here at all times. I'm not trying to make it look like super 3D. Which, by the way, if you feel I'm doing too much, let me know. Because sometimes it's hard to say when you're overdoing it. Okay, it is looking quite good. Probably gonna... It's probably gonna be a lot of little things I start noticing only later. But so far, I'm pretty happy. Things that stand out to me. It's not great. So this edge here, this little, how do you call it, wave, I guess, which is here. It's not too great. So maybe I can fix that by putting a layer on top, putting it on as a clipping layer, and using some of the more natural looking textures, applying them on top. So the parts that look wonkier, that might help a bit. Say like this part here that looks stretched out. Maybe we can take some from here, paint them on top. I don't want too much of that blue on top, especially on the tip of the wave. And basically just trying to take foamy textures and covering the more blurry parts. Like here there's a lot of texture here that doesn't work. Also the colors are not quite right. There's a lot of weirdly black parts in the middle. So that's what I'm trying to fix. Okay, that's pretty good. That fixes up, I think, at least the worst parts of this texture. And let's do the same thing for the one on the bottom. But it suffers from a lot of the same problems. We can take from the top here too. Taking a bit too much. Taking away the foam, and I don't want to do that. At least from the edge. Keep taking from this part because there's a lot of foam here I can use, and that kind of works. Okay, that's pretty good. Is there anything that bugs you if you look at it? Like anything that jumps out at you? Like maybe not as unnatural, because we're obviously looking at something that's not natural. But just as weird. Even if you can't explain it. Because then we can try to fix it. Okay, let's compare that to our base eye. That's pretty good, I think. You know what we should do? Emulate, even if it's just a little bit, the overall lights and shadows here. So this sclera here is more lit up than this one, so maybe we can try and add a bit of that. And our overlay here. Make it darker, and then as we make it darker and we overlay some black on top, you can see the color definitely changes, so you can always go back with color and try to recolor those dark parts. Okay, so we can take this with that way. A bit more shadow. Okay, what else? What other lights and shadows could we... So we could do some... What's that here, yeah? Some on the eyebrow here. Or the eyelid, I mean. But just on the left side. And again, this is just about subtlety. Trying to add lights and shadows that bring some depth, bring some more of a 3D feel, without it looking explicitly 3D, without it looking like it's popping out of the sea and jumping out at us. And in this part here, the eye kind of peters off, it kind of disappears. And not really sure what to do with this. Could do another pretty hard edge. I could just leave it like that. It's not really an important part of the eye. It's not like people are gonna be, oh, where's the tear duct? My tear duct is missing. Who needs tear ducts anyway? It's literally made of water. That's what I would say to them. Okay, you guys, we're getting to an important part of this edit, maybe the most important part. How are we going to sign it? For those of you who knew, I always sign my pictures, and I always sign them by hiding the same symbol. So I try to hide a symbol that looks like. Hang on, need a more opaque brush, there we go. That looks like this. This is my signature, alright? So, every edit you see by me is going to have that somewhere. Like in this one, which I just saw had next to me, so I'll pull it up. It's here, it's like cut on the rope. We also got, so in the last one, I guess it's pretty close to this one, it's here, drawn with the foam here. What else? Sometimes, if there's a place to write it, I'll just write it. Like here, or this one on the name of the boat. I also wrote my name there. Where should we hide this one then? Because I'm thinking either as a reflection, like maybe it's reflected somewhere in the eye as if it was a source of light. So that would mean it would be the other way around. It would be like flipped. Be something like this. That's an option. That might be a bit too subtle and hard to see, but that's an option. Another option I could see is writing it on the foam itself. So for instance, on this foam here, you could do it like this. Or, I mean, same thing on the foam, but outside, like this. That could also be an option. Now it looks like there's a bunch of signatures that are falling into the abyss here. It could also be back here, like just kind of poking out like that. This is the one that fell. Where would you put it? What could be a good place? As a reflection, or in the foam? Okay, before we do anything though, I'll kind of organize this a little bit, because right now it's just a mess of layers, which is what I usually do, but Okay, so we got this base. Okay, so all of... God, I used a lot of layers for the background. There we go. So that's a sclera. I was thinking that the textures on the sclera would be too large, too pixelated. I think it kind of does the job. I don't think it... Yeah, I think it's pretty alright, right? Or does it look too low quality here? Okay, that is the iris, which has a ton of clipping layers, as you can see. There. It's the iris. And that's all shadows. Oh, I'm gonna put this on top of okay, now I'm gonna put it on top. So I drew it as if it was on the top, but it turns out the eyelids here, the tip of the eyelids, were on top of all the lights and shadows I drew. So now if I put it on the bottom, it kind of breaks everything. So I'll leave it as is. So we got this lights and shadows. This. That's gonna be this. I don't need. Oh, there we go. That's all organized. I'm not usually this organized, but you're seeing it. A really special moment. Okay, back to this. Where are we gonna put the signature then? I think my first instinct would be to put it on here. On this, because we already got some pretty natural lines that we can use for it. So let's try that out. We are going to the iris. We are going to this bad boy, this layer here. We're just gonna take our clone stamp with sample here in current and below, so we don't take any other adjustment layers that are on top. We're just taking from this layer here, which is the important part. And I guess we are going to just gonna take a clear line like this. It's not super clear, a super clear line, which kind of bothers me. I'm gonna take this, actually. We're gonna complete it with this and some of that. There we go. Well, that's our line number 1. How big am I making this? That's kind of a problem too. We need 2 parallel lines to make the symbol, and then 1 diagonal line that goes between them. So I guess we could take this here, and then we could do... I'm gonna do this all in separate layers. Could take this plus need a good line. There. No, that's too much. Okay, so we got line number 2. I'm gonna try to put this on Leiden, maybe? There. It's kind of hard to draw with these like small tiny lines. Kind of complicated. We're gonna try though. Not gonna give up on this. Hey, barking dogs. Been a while. Our diagonal line here, it's looking like very thin, I believe. Okay. It's not really gonna be visible. That's kind of my problem here. Needs to be a bit clearer. Yeah, if I use this idea, it's gonna be one of the hardest signatures to find I've ever done. So yeah, I don't know if I should go through with this. But it's pretty much already drawn and I'm not really seeing a lot. Not seeing anything. So if I do a line, I'm just gonna do this one quickly. I don't think I'll end up using that. So I guess that would be it, but honestly, not doing it for me. So we'll try to find a better place to put the signature in. Maybe outside. Maybe like on this nice and clear spot. I could use the ones I already have. Put this outside the iris. There. Well, that's a weird thing I did. Make it into a challenge. That's evil. No, but what if I put in, make it a bit larger, put it on, maybe overlay, no, screen, yeah, screen kind of works. No, it's too hard to read. It's pretty much unreadable. Okay, let's try this same technique, more or less, but with the foam here outside. Let's see if we can make something a bit more readable, something a bit more possible to find, because that last idea, impossible, I'd say. And I've made some hard ones. I think the hardest one, I did a poll a couple times on Instagram. It was a multiple choice, so it's a bit easier, but I did a poll a couple times to see if people could find my signature. And I think the hardest one, at least the ones I showed, was this one here, with Phil and Linda, are two cute penguins, and the signature. I'm not gonna wait until you find it. It's here. That, I admit, that was a bit of a hard one. Okay, let's try to find some clear lines we can use. Because I'm thinking this one, but I would need to make it thinner. So let's copy it for now. Let's see what we can do with it. Yeah, good work. For the diagonal one, I'm thinking of this one that flipped. Oh. Maybe flipping this one. Oh, that doesn't really work flipped. Perspective kind of messes it up. Ah, I can work with it. So that's it, we got two lines. Gonna make this one lighten. The other one too, actually. There. I'll make them a bit brighter too. I'll probably tweak that later once I put it on its final place. Also, real quick, oh no, not perspective warp, shut up. Puppet warp. Quick puppet warp on this to reduce those wiggles there. There. Okay, that's 2 out of 3. I just need another straight-ish line. It's not that easy to find. Looks like. Okay, let's try this. And combining it with that. There, that can work. Okay, so lighten again. And then we're gonna mess with it a little. Maybe I'll flip it even. Not vertically. No, because that That's a bit too weird. Too wiggly. Maybe horizontally though. No. Okay. This is pretty good. Works for me. I will though puppet warp it again. No, don't say that to me. Hey Acoustica, how you doing? You caught us at the signature point, but this one has gone a bit fast, so it's not been that long. 2 hours, 2 hours 23 minutes. That's pretty good, making good time with this one. There we go, we got a sort of signature made out of little foam wiggles. I'm not gonna take away that name. Not gonna walk back on that. Missing grabby hands. The famous grabby hands series. World famous. There, that's a good place. As good a place as any. I'm gonna clear up its background. What am I missing? No, I didn't cheat. What I'm doing is not cheating. This is not a real eye, come on. Oh, I like that. Some fishes. Just to bring it some perspective or some size to compare it to. Let me pick this up with signature. Gonna make it a bit smaller too. A bit more, I don't know, center it a bit more so it's a bit more readable, hopefully. My aim is to make it readable, and for the signature, I mean, my aim is to make it readable and fairly easy to spot, but only if you're looking for it. I don't want it to jump out at the viewer, but if somebody starts looking around a bit, hopefully they'll find it fairly easily. I don't know, many times I think that, oh, this one is going to be so easy to find. And then I ask around and nobody finds it. Okay, let's try to find, like you suggested, some fishes. Little fishies. Yeah. Oh, I also had the idea of doing a Eye of the Hurricane kind of thing with this. I ended up going with water-based because all the last ones have been water-based. So just to follow up on that little trend. It's not the most subtle ones. It's a subtle one I've done. But I betcha that if people... Yeah, because you've seen me do it, but bet you that if you ask people, they won't find it immediately. Maybe I did use a pretty clear part of it to maybe around here would be better. Never noticed the one on the bottle that you did? Which is on the bottle? Which one is on a bottle? Oh, okay. Yes, yeah, that was, but that was because I made a... Hang on, let's pull it up. Because I made a whole sticker for the tequila bottle called Tequila Valdevia. Oh, then I added it here too, just for good measure. But that was a fun one to create. I was like, oh, let's create a tequila sticker, why not? This was a really fun one. I remember creating this one fondly. Also, other little details, the symbol on his whatever that's called, all the crutches, and the whole sign with all the little... I had to kind of recreate that neon light look and kind of break off the letters manually. That was fun. The little cables behind them. The smoke coming out here. This was fun. And the face effect, obviously, that was the hardest part, but came out fairly well. Apron, yeah, thank you. I forget words. What are words? What are those? Okay, let's look for fish silhouette. Hopefully I wrote that well. I'd love some silhouettes from the top. Something like this, but a few of them. Words are hard, aren't they? I agree. Let's do this. Wait, use it right. I don't want this. I want pictures. Type. Oh no, left me there. Because I don't want a vector. I don't want like a silhouette like this. I mean, like the shadows of a fish, or the fishes you see from outside the water. Fish shadow. This is more like what I was thinking about. These ones are a bit too clear. This could work too. Flying fish. Okay, let's try this one. Because why not? Although I hate this website. It always... Oh no, it worked. It worked nicely today. Collaborated, but sometimes it's very annoying. There we go. Oh, that looks creepy. Oh, and I just noticed, that helped me notice some bad edges on the eyelids. Let's fix those up. I mean, I don't think they would have been noticeable anyway, but there you go. Anyway. Let's try and isolate just the shadow of the fishes from their background. I think we can try blend if, because they're pretty dark. But these ones aren't that dark. Okay, maybe we should do some contrast here. This one's I'm gonna lose. That's okay, I think. Okay, let's try that now. Still lose those. Okay, I'll select them manually. Boring. Let's try with this. Too much tolerance there. Please don't make me select every fish manually. Please. I don't want to have to do that. Maybe color range here. What? Hey. It's bugging out. Hey bear. How you doing? I think Photoshop broke. It got stuck on this color range. Ah, it's loading, it's loading, it's loading. Oh, okay. I'm out of it. Whew. Okay. It is saved, thankfully. Yeah, I did. As soon as I came out of that, I hit save. Let me see, select that subject, Photoshop. No, that's not the subject. Okay. Come on. It's not collaborating with me today. You've been here the whole time. Lurking in the background. Oh, that's cool, that's cool. Color selection. Yeah, that's what I just tried. That nearly broke Photoshop for some reason. Let's try it again. I'm not done with you. Okay. That's gonna be too much, I think. Okay. not doing that a lot. Screw this once. Better to do it in a few steps instead of trying to do it all in one. It's not gonna be really easy in this picture. Hot dog, I don't know if he's still here. He was out a few minutes ago. Yeah, I did increase the contrast quite a bit. But problem is this fish here are much lighter than even the background here. That's what kind of bothered me. So I was thinking of either selecting them individually, because in the end I just want the shadows of the fishes. I don't really want a super detailed thing. I don't know if I'll even use that. That's the funniest part here. Just wanted to try that out. God, maybe quick selection? That's not something I ever said before a success story, but if I do this individually to every fish, it might have something. God, this is such a slow tool though. Big whale shadow. How big do we want this eye to be? Yeah, that ain't great, but has to do the trick. Narwhal. Let's just put every animal that lives in the sea. No, let's put every animal, just even land animals. Whatever, just everyone there. How big do we want the silhouettes to be though? And where do we want them? Because maybe they'll be a bit too in the middle if I put them on the iris itself. Maybe they can be like just floating around. You find another thing you want to buy? Let me see. What is that? Oh, I think that didn't copy the whole thing. Hang on. What is that? UV lighting arms? Oh, that looks cool. You gotta stop there, yeah. Yeah, that's super nice. I really love the UV thing. Bit of a disco feel. That's nice. What's the price though? Okay, where are we putting this bad boys? Because this is a pretty important thing, because it gives us a sense of the scale of the whole image. So how big we make this, boys, is really important. Because we can make them like really tiny, and then this becomes a huge whirlpool, a huge vortex. Also, we can put them so there we go. So the foam on top kind of covers them wherever I put them. A cheap spleen. Please don't do illegal organ trade on my on my Twitch stream. I should put that on the rules. Please no organ trading. I don't know, I guess I'm okay with putting them in the iris, as long as they're pretty small. In that case, I fear that they'll just look like nothing, you know? They look like just tiny spots. It would be clearer if I put them outside. I'm thinking like maybe here. Or out here. In this case I could put them, maybe make them a bit bigger. In parties are consented adults, it's legal. I mean, I guess if everyone's consenting, you can sell your spleen. We already kind of bought this. I don't know if I want to open this link after you talked about spleens. Okay, just some bugs. That's cool though. That's kind of scary, but it's cool. How big are they? Because we don't have a really... Like this one is very big boy. This one? What the I don't know though. I don't have anything to base the scale on. So maybe all the other ones are just very small and this one is normal size. I don't know, but it looks so huge next to the others. Oh, yeah, that's cool for the UV. That should be nice. Doing some micro photography then. 46 by 30. 46 by 30. Okay. And then the big ones, they're still big. Yes, they're big. Yeah, I got a couple for my screen test. Where were we? Oh, the fishes. So the funny thing is, like, seeing the shadows of fishes like this, kind of look like eyelashes, or at least as close as eyelashes as we could get in this big eye. But I don't wanna add too many of them, because then it'll look very weird. I could just fill everything with fishes instead of eyelashes. Hey, let me Control Z, please. Yeah, there we go. So maybe just a few fishes as a treat. Here we go, it's a signature. Oh, $500 macro rail and a microscope objective. Damn, that sounds expensive. Yeah, that's cool though. That's very cool. I love macro photography. Getting a microscopic lens. That's cool. You need to show me once you start shooting stuff with that. I want to see how it looks. Because that sounds promising. Yeah, I can I can see where you are. That's very nice. Okay, so how's this eye looking? I don't think I have time for a lot more this stream, because we're already running on 3 hours. And I mean, I don't have anything special to do tomorrow, so we can run this stream for quite some time. I don't think we can make another full edit before we finish. We can continue with the one we started on the other day with the broken face. Hang on. Let me know though if there's anything we can do to this one Anything that jumps out to you that we can change before it's too late and this one goes away.